Hello. I got a question that came in, I think, via email. Question came in from Sean Frazier. As a fellow visual performance artist, I just wanted to express my gratitude for being such an inspiration. That's very nice, Sean. Let me skip the gratitude stuff. A video aimed at how you incorporate motivational inspiration with magic would be fascinating. Or do you keep them separate for the sake of your different clients? Thanks again for your encouragement. Sean, thank you so much for sending me an email, for reaching out. I'm going to do my best to answer that question. How do I use magic in my motivational presentations, or do I keep it separate in this video? During my answer, I'm going to cut you guys in and out of a few of the things I've done over the past 2 days, and some updates and announcements. So this is gonna be kind of like watching Westworld. We're gonna be in a lot of different timelines. I'm gonna try to keep things straight and organized so we can all follow and we don't end up like Bern Arnold. Lindsay and I are not the only ones calling him Bern Arnold, right? Very early. I'm heading to a networking event this morning, about 45 minutes from home. It's not that far, but it starts at 7 a.m. It's a nice shot of our garbage in the background. It's still in the shot. Okay, doesn't matter. So, I'm not actually attending the event. I'm the guest speaker for the event. So how do I use magic in my motivational presentations? Well, the first thing you need to understand about being a motivational speaker, that's also a term that a lot of motivational speakers try to shy away from. Motivational speaker also conjures up that kind of, you know, Tony Robbins.
There, how many know what I'm talking about here? Say I.
Goals, ambitions, hooray. It kind of conjures up the character from Yes Man.
Make me believe it. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah!
Red Bull.
Sounds like
Red Bull.
really
So if you actually look at any of my promo, my website, if you go to brianmillerspeaks.com, you'll see that I'm listed as a communication specialist, interpersonal communication skills, learning how to do perspective taking, and my hook as a speaker is that I built my career in magic, that my background is that I'm a professional magician. It's always dangerous when you're talking about being a professional speaker and you're stumbling over your words.
Ask people questions, exactly, you were right there with me. Ask people questions. Too often we are afraid to ask people questions because we think it'll be rude or somehow they won't want to answer.
Just wrapped up with the meeting this morning. The talk was fantastic. It got such great feedback. Everybody, like 40 people or 50 people, there was so much great feedback, but I don't have time to talk right now because I have 1 hour to drive 1 hour for a 10 o'clock meeting. So I'm gonna go get there, take the meeting, and then I'll catch up with you in a moment. Woo! All right. I made it here in 52 minutes. I have 5 minutes before I need to head in and take my meeting. This is actually a meeting with a potential major corporate client for magic for like July of 2019, a huge international organization having their annual conference looking for entertainment. A meeting with the president of the international chapter who happens to live 20 minutes from me in Connecticut. I have a lot of work to do today. I got some updates for you guys on a lot of the stuff that's been going on recently and some really exciting things that are rolling out on this channel and in general for me. So we'll pick back up in a minute. All right, well, I am so tired. Woo! What am I talking about? First try. So as a speaker, my hook is the fact that I was a magician. In other words, magic is actually the lens through which I present my message. There are a lot of speakers who train on effective communication and human connection. There's less that talk about perspective taking specifically. A lot of speakers are in the category of emotional intelligence. A lot of them talk about empathy. I approach it from perspective taking. By the way, a lot of people don't know the difference between perspective taking and empathy. Perspective taking is a skill. It's the ability to see the world from the point of view of another person. There is not necessarily any emotional quality attached to perspective taking. You can use it however you want. It's just a tool. Empathy is the emotional ability to put yourself in somebody else's situation that you haven't gone through before. Sympathy is when you've actually gone through what they're going through. You sympathize with someone because you've gone through it before. Perspective taking and empathy often go hand in hand, but they are two sides to a coin. They're not the same thing. Even though I get booked sometimes within the auspices of emotional intelligence and empathy, I train specifically on the technique of perspective taking. The way that I learned how to take on the perspectives of other people is because I was a magician. So magicians, if you've heard my TEDx talk, you know this, but magicians have intuitively mastered the technique perspective taking because in order to create magic, a magician must put themselves in the point of view of the audience.
Magicians have a unique dilemma. The magician is the only person who cannot see the magic, can't see it. Why? Because I know how it's done, exactly. I know how the trick works. And that knowledge of the secret is a limiting perspective.
I can't actually experience the wonder of the trick. I can't see the trick as magic unless I put myself in the perspective of the audience and consider what I'm doing from their point of view. We have bags and shirts, but I'm not gonna let you see what they look like yet, so they should probably both blurred out right now. Merchandise is coming along very well. That's not really true. Merchandise is coming along. It's been delayed quite a bit because the printing wasn't right on the shirts the first time around, so I had to get the design fixed and then have them reprinted, and I wanted to make sure that I have them in hand and I can wear them and try them so that if you guys decide to buy them, and plunk down your hard-earned money, I want to make sure you guys are getting a really quality product that's been checked by me, that I sign off on. The next morning, I crashed last night. I was so tired. But I have another presentation to give this morning, thankfully not as early. Woo! The group this morning makes it a beautiful place. This is like an event space, a really nice. All right, I'm gonna head in. I've got half an hour to set up everything that I need and question, do you separate the two for the sake of your clients? Yes and no. I have a website, brianmillermagic.com, and all the promotional materials that match with that website that are specifically for my work as a magician. And then I have a website, brianmillerspeaks.com, that's about my work as a speaker and a communication specialist, and I have all the accompanying promotional materials that go along with my career as a speaker. But my magic website mentions a couple of different places my work as a speaker, that I get to use my ability as a magician to inspire audiences. And then my speaking website, of course, talks about my background in magic and how I came to learn all the stuff I teach about because I was a magician. There's a big difference between getting hired as a magician who speaks and getting hired as a speaker who does magic. And if you're not in the industry, it's hard to understand, but entertainers, if you're a magician who speaks, you're seen as an entertainer first. So you're booked more likely to do a magic show, and oh, if you can slide in this nice message about our company, or this nice message about whatever, that would be great. Whereas when you're booked as a speaker, I get booked specifically as a speaker to train on communication, teamwork, connection, networking, and then, oh, and by the way, he's a magician. There's gonna be some cool magic in it too. It's gonna be fun. It's a very different way, different types of events, different organizations, different goals and intentions with the two. So in my live presentations as a speaker, I would say if I'm talking for an hour, there's less than 10 minutes of magic. I just use a couple of magic tricks, spread throughout the whole of my presentation to engage the audience, to make it fun, to give them something to look forward to when the next trick is coming. More importantly though, I use the magic as a visual anchor for the message. People are more likely to remember the point of my message about making meaningful connections with the people that they meet. They're more likely to remember it and put it into practice if they can attach it to a visual, a fun, positive experience. I hope that this was interesting, enlightening, helpful. Sean, thank you so much for sending a message, for reaching out to me personally. I think we're gonna call it on this one. Thanks so much for sticking with me, guys. And always remember that our world is a shared experience. Have a great day.